So here we see how Prithu Maharaj, he was such a great ruler that he was just like fire. Similarly, every devotee should be just like fire. Fire, when it's controlled, is very useful and it is very powerful. Uncontrolled fire means that it is very destructive. So devotees, they're like fire, but that fire is applied, you see. That's why they get continually more fuel. It's given down the disciplic succession. And the preaching goes on expanding. As much electricity as is required for illuminating a light, that much is given from the powerhouse. It's an automatic system. Condensers and relay switches. As much as it draws, that's how much is taken. We have a generator at Mayapur. If we turn on 20 kilowatts of lights, the generator will work on a 20 kilowatt load. It won't produce more. And if we turn on all the lights like at the festival, we burn the fuse. Because it had only 60 kilowatt load capacity, but we turned on 80 kilowatts. All on one phase, 3-phase system. And Vishnupad went down and got everyone jumping to fix the fuse. So no one even knew more than a few hours. So the point is that as much as we can give out Krishna's mercy, Krishna will provide so much more load, so much more electricity, Shakti, that we simply have to see that there's no short circuits, that we're not having what they know as leak. If you have a loose wire touching the wall, it creates an electrical leak. The unlimited electricity is just drawn off. So much energy is expended for no useful purpose. In fact, if you touch the wall, you get a shock. It can even be very dangerous. So there is where purity comes in. That by purity we are insulating ourselves from any leaks, from any contact with Maya conductors. And we're simply taking that energy right where it needs to go. Right to the conditioned soul's heart. Igniting their wood-like heart and making it fire also. In this way the fire goes on spreading. And more bulbs are lit. More and more spiritual fires are ignited. So Prabhupada knew that when a little spiritual light, little fire is started, little plant is there, it's very fragile. It can be easily destroyed. Especially the faith that he created in many countries was after a lot of effort and is very thin, can be easily destroyed. So therefore he wanted us to be very careful, to act exactly in line with his instructions. So this goes down to every distributor, goes down to every devotee, goes to every single person. The more that one is responsible, the more he has to be responsible and understand how he is so liable to Srila Prabhupada. But every single devotee, how he is presenting himself, how is he presenting Krishna? He's not presenting himself. When someone sees a devotee, he doesn't think of that person as an individual sense. He thinks of him in the sense that he's a member of the ISKCON society. He's a Hare Krishna. Therefore, we had difficulty in India one time, you see. The one devotee was caught stealing. You know what happens sometimes. And there was some devotees from America, and they said, all right, throw him out of the temple. But first, cut off his sika. This is an old pastime. But in India, everybody has a sika. So they cut his sika off and threw him. I went to the police and they cut off my sika. They take away my Hindutva, my Hinduism. And the police became all angry. How can you cut off his sika? Well, he was stealing, he was smoking, well, I smoke, I steal. I take bribes, I got a sika. So it was a very touchy thing. So in India, you see, we can't do such things. Okay, so I had to explain to the other devotees, they couldn't understand the Indian devotee. Why is this going on? He says, no, you see, in the West, nobody wears sika but Hare Krishna devotees. So if they go out and do something, people will say, oh, look, there's Hare Krishna. In India, of course, it's not necessary. There you can send them out with sika, no one will know. So the point is that we're a society and we're a sampradaya. And actually we have very good chance. In fact, we have no doubt of success if we simply stick to these principles. There's no doubt. Just like Prithu Maharaj, even there's so many enemies, they couldn't get near him. They couldn't approach. They couldn't find a fault or an opportunity to attack him. He was so powerful and he was so mysterious. They didn't know where he was coming, where he was going, what he was doing, how much money he had, didn't have, where everything about him was opulent. Because he was covered by Krishna's transcendental potency. So similarly, we have to always be under the shelter of Jagannath, Subhadra, Balaram, Subhadra's Yogamaya. When we're under her shelter, no one can really see what is happening. And somehow or another, if we lose her shelter, and Krishna's Mahavaya shelter means big trouble. So that we always have to be very careful to be under the shelter of Yogamaya. Yogamaya samangvida. We have to be under the shelter of Krishna. And that we can only be when we are always fixed up and following the instruction of the previous acharyas